Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Blue Brand. This is SmackDown. And EC3 is already in the ring after that bombshell announcement that he was tipped off for before the show. Walter has laid down the Intercontinental Championship, and that is a real shame. EC3 saying with disappointment sometimes comes opportunity. There's an opportunity for 4 men here. We're going to have 2 qualifying matches, one tonight and one next week, to get a shot at the IC title. But it's not going to be a one-off match for the championship. EC3 wants to make them earn it. Oh my God. The winners of the 2 qualifying matches will face off in a best-of-7 series. And Randy Orton versus Keith Lee, which was already booked, will be the first of the qualifying matches. And next week will be Rey Mysterio versus Noam Dar. Wow. Another chance at gold for Rey Mysterio and Noam Dar. Now we're talking about the Fatal 4. It's not going to be going ahead before Vengeance. We have an injury crisis here on SmackDown. There's no doubt about that. Daniel Bryan has demanded a match at Vengeance. He wants to defend that title. Doesn't care how it happens or who it is. Who could get that shot? Maybe crowning a new... Hold on a second. That's Drew GULAK coming out to the ring. And this is very interesting. Drew GULAK faced the champion last week. Drew GULAK seems as though he wants to throw his hat back in the ring. And that's precisely what he's saying. He believes he's the only one who can even push Daniel Bryan. He pushed him to the limit last week. Drew GULAK says he's the best pure wrestler in the company. Oh, hang on a second. Well, Drew GULAK says he's the best pure wrestler in the company, but this man might have something to say about that. It's the Swiss Cyborg. Well, Cesaro saying, let's not pretend that losing to the champion means you get a championship match. Cesaro's the only one left standing from that Survivor Series team. I mean, it's hard to argue with Cesaro. He's willing to fight GULAK right now. Oh, well, of course you'd be wanting to do that. Of course you'd want to take yourself out of the Fatal 4-Way for a singles match for a shot at the title. And he's willing to face GULAK for a shot at the World Championship. Oh my God. Well, I tell you what, Cesaro up in the ante on himself. He said, if I lose to Drew GULAK, I won't challenge for the title for 12 months. On any brand. So even if he was to get traded, it'd be still 12 months without a World Championship match. And it does solve the problem for EC3. Hell yeah. I think we do it. And it's done. Next week, Drew GULAK versus Cesaro in a 30-minute Iron Man match. The winner faces Daniel Bryan at Vengeance for the World Championship. That is going to be a wrestling clinic. It is official. Next week, 30-minute Iron Man match, GULAK versus Cesaro. Strap yourselves in. Oh my God. SmackDown is the pure wrestling capital of the WWE. And tonight that'll continue when the Street Profits take on War Machine for the right to face Sanity at Vengeance for the Tag Team Championships after the Street Profits assaulted War Machine. And we have some huge news, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, Daniel Bryan announced earlier that he wants a non-title open challenge fight here tonight. That is your main event. Daniel Bryan, non-title open challenge. Unbelievable. Fresno is on their feet. And they are rising again because it's time for the Viper, Randy Orton, to take on Keith Lee. And we know now the stakes of this match are as high as ever because Randy Orton now has the opportunity to enter into a best of 7 series for the Intercontinental Championship should he be able to get over the huge speed bump that is Keith Lee. Wait a minute. Noam Dar. Well, we know Noam Dar's in the other qualifying match and he had some words there. He's backstage right now. That was backstage live. Noam Dar saying, I wish you the best of luck. He doesn't really want him to win, but if he wins and Noam Dar then wins, then we enter into a best of 7 series between Randy Orton and Noam Dar. But I tell you what, Randy Orton has a hell of a lot of work to do against the debuting Keith Lee here tonight. But Randy Orton has an opportunity of a lifetime here that he didn't know he was going to have before this explosive start to SmackDown. When Walter opened the show saying that he was doing something that's against absolutely everything that he believes in, laying down the Intercontinental Championship because the doctors in WWE won't clear him after the head trauma he suffered at the boot of Bobby Lashley. Well, everybody's had trouble with Bobby Lashley lately, including this man. Keith Lee makes his blue brand debut here tonight. It is time to bask in Keith Lee's glory. Big fight feel surrounding this one, ladies and gentlemen. What a way to kick off the show. What a huge match. Main event caliber anywhere in the world. And Keith Lee with a huge opportunity to not only debut, but to enter into that best of 7 series. Imagine Keith Lee versus Noam Dar best of 7. Or how about this? Imagine Keith Lee versus Rey Mysterio best of 7 series for the Intercontinental Championship. But there, as they say, is a lot of golf to play yet for that to happen. Keith Lee versus Randy Orton has to go down right here, right now, for that to even be a remote possibility. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Orton is ready. Lee is ready. Underway on SmackDown. First contest of the evening. Randy Orton, Keith Lee. And still to come, Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match as well. Oh, look out. Randy Orton throwing that cheap shot at Keith Lee already. And Lee now, answers back with a chop. And now Keith Lee sends Randy over the top rope. And that's the power of Keith Lee. And wait a minute. What is Keith Lee thinking here? Oh no, surely not! Lee takes flight! Keith Lee leaping over the top. And already Keith Lee has done things that a man of his size should never be able to do. And Lee is absolutely on fire here. Look out. Throws Orton down. What is he doing now? Oh my God. Moonsault from Keith Lee from the second rope on the button. And Lee is off to an absolute sprint start here. And now Lee, look out. Oh, Orton took him down. And Orton knows how important it is to try and keep Keith Lee grounded. But the thing is Keith Lee has power. Absolutely. But he's as quick as a cat and he can fly like a cruiserweight. So how the hell do you counteract someone like that? But Randy Orton's doing his best here. And as I was saying, wait a minute, Keith Lee with a reversal. Look at this. A cross-body, springboard style from the outside in. As Keith Lee continues to try and hammer away on Orton, and Orton's he's got to bring some fight here. He needs to lay some right hands, but he doesn't even get that option. Keith Lee yet again. Look out. Unbelievable. It's about as impressive as you could hope. And Lee's asking the crowd to bask in his glory, but Orton's already up. Look out. Drop kick. Doesn't even knock Lee off his feet. And then he gets a clothesline as well. And Keith Lee is on fire here in Fresno. Oh, another chop. Oh, and a forearm from Lee. And Lee's just throwing. But Orton, he's experienced. He'll know how to get back in this one. No question. And Orton then, with a clothesline, sends him to the outside. Gets some separation. Really good strategy from Randy Orton. Man. Walter lays down the Intercontinental title. EC3 says we're going to have 2 qualifying matches. One this week, one next week. This is the first of those. And the winner of both of those matches then will face off in a best of 7 professional wrestling series of matches. And that will be absolutely unbelievable between the 4 competitors that we have. These two, plus Noam Dar and Rey Mysterio, who'll make his return after that brutal match with Tommaso Ciampa. Ducks down, leaps over the top. Unbelievable! Keith Lee is on another level. You could say that he's limitless. Sends him into the corner. And Keith Lee, yet again, look at this. Now he just shows the power. He has everything. And Orton back up to his feet. And look at this. He just runs straight through him. Then to the second rope. And Keith Lee, oh no. Orton had to get out of the way and did. And now Randy Orton. Beautiful suplex from Randy Orton. And it sends Keith Lee all the way to the outside of the ring. Orton coming at Lee now. But look out. Orton, with a reversal. Shifted his weight onto the floor. And Randy Orton has just managed to keep himself back in this match. And that's what it's all about. And Randy Orton now is taking it to the outside and the barricade. And Lee's sent down onto the barricade by Orton. And this has been a sprint match so far. And Orton needs to slow the pace. That's what he's doing. Right down into the back of Keith Lee. Now he's maneuvering him where he wants him. And Orton is just picking his mark here now. Orton down into the cover. And there's a nothing. A 0. And that tells you everything you need to know about how this match has gone so far. And Keith Lee, beautiful takeover. Keith Lee took him down, and Keith Lee dropped a massive elbow right to the heart. And now what is he doing? Oh my God! Standing moonsault from Keith Lee. Down into the cover. Is that enough? I reckon Orton's in big trouble. And he just kicks out. And Randy Orton is struggling to deal with Keith Lee right now. And can you blame him? Lee has an arsenal like absolutely no one else. And this is his debut here on SmackDown. Oh, Randy Orton saw it coming. Such is the experience of Orton. And now Orton takes him up to the second rope. And shot to the back. And this is vintage Orton. Absolutely vintage Orton. The back-to-back backbreaker. And Randy Orton now could be rolling. And Orton has Keith Lee. And he's going to take him high rent here. This is desperation from Orton. It's been all Lee. Oh no, it could be all Lee. Coming down on all of Orton. Crossbody from Keith Lee. All that weight comes down across the chest. Can't keep him down. What a match. These two are fighting for the right to enter the best of 7 series for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, Randy Orton jacks the jaw. Orton jacks the door, but Keith Lee throwing back. And Keith Lee, oh my God. 2 hands to the chest, sends Orton down. And now Lee sends Orton. And now he's going to take him high rent. Will this pay off for Keith Lee this time? And Keith Lee, oh my God. Oh goodness. He just slammed him to the canvas. Keith Lee, desperation cover. Isn't enough. Orton hit very hard, but he kicks out. And Keith Lee is searching for answers. Keith Lee now, second rope, wants him up. Orton's in big trouble here. And Keith Lee crossbody. Oh my God! Orton caught him. Rolled through. Unbelievable from Randy Orton. Slams him down. It's got to be time. It's got to be time. Orton has to strike. The Viper needs to strike. RKO. No. Keith Lee rejects it. Keith Lee rejects it. Picks him up. Oh my God. Powering it down. Cover 1, 2. That's it! Keith Lee, unbelievable SmackDown debut. He is going to the best of 7 series for the Intercontinental Championship. Look at this from Orton. Orton was largely dominated all match, slammed him down, looking for the opportunity. He knew that was his only chance. He knew the RKO would have got the 1, 2, 3, but Lee, too powerful, shrugs him off. Picks him up. Look at this. Look at the elevation. Slamming him down. And Keith Lee has limitless potential here on SmackDown. But my goodness me, is that going to lead him to the Intercontinental Championship? We will find out when the best of 7 series gets underway. But we need an opponent. And next week it'll be Noam Dar versus Rey Mysterio. The winner faces Keith Lee for the Intercontinental Championship. Best of 7. Unreal. Oh, wait a minute. Well, Bobby Lashley is waiting on the ramp here. Lashley saying you've earned nothing. Well, I don't agree with that at all. Well, you have to agree with that. Bobby Lashley is the reason that the championship has been vacated. Bobby Lashley's left a real message there. Keith Lee has a dark cloud hanging over him in the form of Bobby Lashley. Paul Heyman. Oh, there's Adam Cole. Mr. Money in the Bank. He's not scheduled to be here on SmackDown. Undisputed Era takeover next week. They are going to be on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. But Adam Cole saying he sees that Daniel Bryan has that little open challenge tonight. That is a huge opportunity tonight, of course. Daniel Bryan, even though it's non-title, every match against a world champion could be a title match for Adam Cole if he cashes in that briefcase. Paul Heyman has been stoic as of late. They sent a message on Raw. The Apollo Crews downing Brock Lesnar. Can't imagine Paul Heyman agrees with Daniel Bryan doing an open challenge, opening up all kinds of possibilities. Adam Cole saying, if you threaten me, you might want to watch your back as well. Tension here on SmackDown. Back in the arena, and it's time for the tag team division to line up Fresno, because this is the Street Profits who threw fists to get themselves into this position. Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford to take on Hanson and Rowe for the opportunity to face Sanity, who have been eerily quiet, roaming around in the background with those tag team championships. And it is just backstage. I mean, every now and then you'll walk past a dark corner and you'll see Eric Young just sitting there and just stroking that tag team championship. And it's bizarre. Eric Young, Jackson Ryker showed up at Survivor Series. Well, quite simply, they took over. They dominated the Revival. Jackson Ryker, the ace up the sleeve of Sanity. But of course, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, they said to each other, we're done playing around. We're sick and tired of not being at the top of the pecking order. So what did? They went after War Machine immediately. They took out War Machine after their debut victory here on SmackDown. And that led to this match. Number one contendership on the line. Two of the best tag teams in any division, in any tag team division around the world. But I tell you what, it is a tall order to think you can take on Hanson and Rowe of War Machine. They scream into the air. War Machine arrive. And this one's going to be real, real good, ladies and gentlemen. How do you counteract the power? How do you counteract a former Intercontinental Champion in Raymond Rowe? Look at the size of these two individuals. And they mean business tonight. War Machine. Man, it's so intimidating seeing these two men walk down here. Raymond Rowe, of course, has had several issues with Bobby Lashley, but they definitely got somewhat even on Bobby Lashley, who had an ominous message for Keith Lee after his outstanding victory just moments ago. Bobby Lashley is a dark cloud hanging over SmackDown Live in general, let alone just Keith Lee right now. He's the reason that there's going to be a best-of-7 series for the newly vacated Intercontinental Championship, but this isn't about the Intercontinental Championship, it's about the tag team titles. War Machine, Street Profits, who you got? Let us know. Underway, referee rings the bell. Oh, look out, he went straight for the spear on Hanson, did Angelo Dawkins, but he didn't get it. And look at this, Hanson straight away dragging Montez Ford in, went for the spear again. Hanson rebuffs again, and these two are absolutely outstanding here. Look at this. Hanson is just absolutely decimating them both. What a start Raymond Rowe watches on. Montez Ford sent to the outside, but Angelo Dawkins is in. Hanson felt that contact and then just knocked him almost clean out. And Hanson, they're not going to run through him like this, surely. Montez Ford's running back to his corner. He knows how urgent this is. What a shot. A double shot. And now Rowe. Oh, look out. And Angelo Dawkins knows he has to fight here. He knows he has to try and stay on it. And he's got a tag here. Gets a tag to Montez Ford. And Montez Ford with a beautiful drop kick as Rowe was trying to get out of the corner. And now Ford sends him in. Leapfrog over the top. And Ford, oh my God, the hops on this man. And they've only just managed to stave off that sprint start to this match. It's a bit of a theme tonight, I'm guessing. Beautiful rotating splash there from Montez Ford, and this one they've just managed to get it slightly back on an even keel again. It's Ford. Beautiful counter there from Raymond Rowe, and Raymond Rowe now sending Montez Ford in, and oh my God, folded him up like an accordion. And look at that headbutt, collapses him onto the ropes. And now Raymond Rowe, former Intercontinental Champion, looking to make it 2 championships here in WWE. Looking to head to Vengeance to take on Sanity. Raymond Rowe sends him in. Beautiful takeover from Raymond Rowe. Now Rowe is going to try and slow the pace on the quicker Montez Ford. Rowe is just an absolute beast when it comes to ground and pound. We've seen that on his road to the Intercontinental Championship. He, of course, was getting attacked by Bobby Lashley when Hanson would return and they would re-enter the tag team division. And they've made an immediate impact. Look out. Beautiful stuff there from Montez Ford. He whipped up. That was brilliantly done. Ford is so quick that if you take too much time, he is going to get the better of you. Now Ford running in, going to load him up high rent here, and this could be real trouble here. Could be real trouble for Rowe. Arm drag from the second rope. And all of a sudden, Montez Ford is absolutely rolling here. Leaps over the top, showing that speed, and what a beautiful hip toss there from Montez Ford. Still to come, ladies and gentlemen, main event of the evening, Daniel Bryan. Non-championship open challenge. He's already been sent an ominous message. Beautiful spinning powerbomb there from Raymond Rowe to get himself back in this contest. Adam Cole has sent a warning shot saying there's a huge opportunity for Mr. Money in the Bank tonight. Could we see potentially, power there. Could we potentially see a WWE Championship match main event? That is well on the cards as Montez Ford's trying to avoid another powerbomb here. Does so successfully against Hanson and now runs in. Can't knock the big man down though. Hanson ain't having none of that. Look at this unbelievable power. Hanson now, second rope. Montez Ford, big trouble. Oh no. The splash lands down into the cover. That's got to be it. It's got to be all over. Montez Ford just kicks out Raymond Rowe. Look out. Raymond Rowe. He's going to bring him in the hard way here. He brings him in the hard way. Raymond Rowe and Hanson. Oh my God, what a knee. What a knee. Down into the cover. Angelo Dawkins is already there. And he breaks up the pin. He breaks up the pin. And this one has Fresno on their feet here. As Hanson now is going to get Ford up to his feet. And look out. Ford, he got out of the way. Oh no, Hanson didn't see him. And he just took out the referee. Hanson just took out the referee. Once again, the quickness of Montez Ford. And now these two. Wait a minute, Lashley's back. Hang on a second. We mentioned that he had issues with Raymond Rowe. Now he's talking trash to Raymond Rowe, who goes after him. Understandably so. Raymond Rowe was taken out for a period of time by Bobby Lashley. The referee is still down. Raymond Rowe and Bobby Lashley have fought through the crowd on the hard camera side here. They are fighting all the way through the crowd. And Hanson is left 2-on-1 here as the referee's starting to recover. The referee's recovered here, and it's 2-on-1. And look out, Hanson now. Oh, Montez Ford fighting back against the big man. Chops all round, they're fighting through the crowd. Half the crowd on the hard camera side here are watching what's going on there, but you might want to watch what's going on here. Look out, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, they're way too good to not take this opportunity here. And Montez, he hit that moonsault, then Angelo hitting that splash. And now Angelo Dawkins with the opportunity of a lifetime. Do it. You've got to take these opportunities. They don't come along very often. The splash into the cover. 1, 2. Have they done it? They have. The Street Profits are heading to Vengeance to challenge for the Tag Team Championships. But look at this. Bobby Lashley. The referee had no idea. And Bobby Lashley is taking out Raymond Rowe here. Lashley said at the top of the show that he was going to cause havoc, and Bobby Lashley is fast becoming one of the most hated men on the roster. Hanson has been incapacitated, and Bobby Lashley, oh my God, face first goes Rowe. Bobby Lashley sent a warning shot. The hell has gotten into this guy? But back in the ring, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins celebrate their victory. But my goodness, it's got to be a little bit hollow considering Lashley's involvement. Wait a minute, there's Bobby Lashley again with Randy Orton after his tough loss to Keith Lee is saying, I could help you out. Oh my God. Randy Orton saying, I want Noam Dar gone for good, and I can help you with those two. Well, as Toni Storm mentioned, she is number 1 and she wants a match for that number 1 spot next week. But up next, it's Becky Lynch taking on Peyton Royce. And Becky Lynch has been heading up the rankings with an absolute bullet as of late. And she has been targeting everybody that is above her. And she wants another crack at someone who is in a higher ranking spot than her. Becky Lynch at the start of the month was number 10. She's now number 6. And what would happen if she knocked off number 3 here in Peyton Royce? That would mean everything to the man. But Peyton Royce is at number 3 for a reason. She's been very active, several victories, and well, this is the chance for Peyton Royce to maybe even move up those ranks yet again. Peyton Royce has every opportunity to solidify her spot or maybe even take over Shayna Baszler's number 2 spot. Because as we know here on SmackDown, number 1 and 2 come Vengeance will face off for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Peyton Royce, Becky Lynch set to do battle here. What a night it has been so far, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby Lashley with maybe a potential alliance with Randy Orton. to take care of a few problems, because Randy Orton's very smart. He knows that War Machine is going to come after Bobby Lashley after what he just did to him. He said, hey, I can help you with those boys if you help me eradicate a little problem called Noam Dar. After Randy Orton missed the opportunity to potentially face off with Dar in the best of 7 series for the Intercontinental Championship, now he may have a huge ally. But Becky Lynch, she has no allies. She is one on her own. She is a lone wolf, so to speak. Becky Lynch has been surging up the power rankings with several impressive victories over the month. She wants that women's championship match, and I tell you what, this would go a hell of a long way to getting that done should she be able to beat Peyton Royce tonight. And in my estimation, Becky Lynch is probably one of the favourites should she get into that position to challenge for the women's championship. She is a runaway train right now, is Becky Lynch. And look at this, Peyton Royce showing her absolutely no respect. Staying in the ring. These two women are ready to go. Underway for our third contest of the evening. And oh my God, what a shot from Becky Lynch. That's going to wake you up, because everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And Becky Lynch just did that to Peyton Royce, who has a history of falling quickly in matches. Of course, the huge build-up to the SummerSlam match against Shayna Baszler, and then she was absolutely dismantled. But look out, Peyton Royce, oh, brilliantly done. She rolls her up. This is her chance here. Peyton Royce into the cover. Oh, she almost got it done quickly herself here. Becky Lynch, as I say, I think she's the biggest threat to that women's championship that we've seen. Maybe aside from Shayna Baszler, Toni Storm as well. I mean, this division is stacked, so it's a bit rich to say that Becky Lynch is the biggest threat to that championship when she sits number 6. But imagine what this would do. This may take her as high as 4. Maybe even just take over that 3rd spot. Leapfrogging absolutely everybody. Of course, we know Charlotte still has injuries at the hands of Shayna Baszler. She sits sort of low in the power rankings for her ability. Look out, Peyton Royce. Oh, brilliant athleticism, using those long legs to her advantage, and then planting Becky Lynch face first. And now going for a little submission of her own here. Peyton Royce with that knee in the lower back, trying to work over Becky Lynch, but Becky Lynch takes it straight to the arm. You know that if she hits that disarmer, it could be all over. That is for sure. But Becky Lynch is absolutely all over Peyton Royce here at the moment with those double leg drops. Becky Lynch has just been absolutely unbelievable. As I said, a runaway train here on the power rankings. It's gone from 10 to 6 in a matter of a couple of weeks, as Becky Lynch is going to bring her in the hard way. Beautifully done. And Becky Lynch is feeling it. This is what it's all about. The competitiveness of the women's power rankings has turned all 3 shows on their head. Definitely seen it on Raw. It's the behavior of Bianca Belair and trying anything to try and hold on to that number 1 spot to get a shot at Rhea Ripley. And it's a little bit easier if you can say that on SmackDown, given the top 2 get a championship match at Vengeance. So now look at this, Peyton Royce just sending that shot right down into the throat of Becky. Peyton Royce now going to send Becky Lynch into the corner. And Peyton Royce, look at this, getting a little bit down and dirty here, the Australian. Raking the eyes, and the referee didn't quite see it, and that could throw Becky Lynch right off here. Now Peyton Royce, drops the split legs down across the shoulders. Little bit of an arrogant cover here. But it draws a 2 count. And Peyton Royce is getting frustrated. I don't know why he'd be frustrated. It wasn't really a great cover. I guess she thought she was closer than she actually was here, as Peyton Royce drop kick, beautiful to the back. How about that main event still to come? Daniel Bryan, non-title open challenge. He just wants to fight every single week. And he also wants an opponent. And we're going to find out who that opponent for Vengeance will be next week when Drew Gulak takes on Cesaro in a 30-minute Iron Man match with 2 of the best professional wrestlers on the planet. You can strap yourself in for that one. That's coming next week. Looking for a shot there. as well as Noam Dar and Rey Mysterio. Next week is absolutely stacked as Becky Lynch continue to working on the arm here. She'll be looking for the disarmer, there's no question about that. Becky Lynch doesn't care which arm it is either. She'll go for both because that means she opens up her options to both arms. You don't need to look for a position where you have to lock it in on a certain arm. You can lock it in on either. As Lynch continues to wrench away on the arm, rolling out is Peyton Royce, but Lynch hangs onto the hammerlock. Oh, this time though, got an elbow. Got an elbow, and now here she comes. Here comes Peyton Royce throwing the shots. And Peyton Royce is in real big trouble here. And a tilt-a-whirl DDT from Becky Lynch. Peyton Royce almost catching at butterflies there. She's in big trouble as Lynch is going to turn up the heat here. Now Becky Lynch springboards off. Oh, what a shot. Sends her all the way to the outside of the ring. And Peyton Royce is really struggling here. Becky Lynch with a run up. Look out. Took her out off the apron. Lynch and Royce in a battle here. Becky Lynch looking to advance even further up the power rankings. Peyton Royce trying to hold on to that third spot. Maybe even take second, depending on how it's determined by the independent board. Now you can see Peyton Royce sending her off. Oh, beautiful spear. Absolutely laces Becky Lynch with that spear. Down into the cover. Has she pulled it out of the hat here? No. Becky Lynch kicks out at 2. Man, the wrestling has been off the charts. SmackDown really is synonymous with great professional wrestling because you look at all the people who are in the positions of power here. They are all great professional wrestlers. Daniel Bryan, you've got Cesaro, GULAK, 30-minute Iron Man match. Oh, wait a minute, Becky Lynch got out of the way. Oh, she hung her up. Becky Lynch hung her up, and now Becky Lynch could turn up the heat here. She wants her to her feet. She could be thinking disarmer. Is this the opportunity Becky Lynch was waiting for? Thinking disarmer, no. Look out, rolls out. Oh, beautiful drop toe hold from Peyton Royce, and Peyton Royce turns her around. She's going to drop her for a neck breaker. And now Peyton Royce, she could be thinking the Three Amigos. She's put so many away with it, but Becky Lynch rebuffs. Lynch rebuffs, and now sends her into the corner. And Becky Lynch going to take her high rent. It hasn't worked terribly well all night for anyone else, but Becky Lynch might be the exception. Oh, look out. Becky Lynch, backsploder from the second rope. This is her opportunity. And Becky Lynch with the ultimate opportunity to take out Peyton Royce and potentially take third spot. Wait a minute, what the hell? Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, much like at SummerSlam, is choking out Peyton Royce here. What the hell? Well, that means Becky Lynch is disqualified. What the hell is the meaning of this? Well, Peyton Royce wins the match, but it's by disqualification. But I think that was a message from Shayna Baszler to Becky Lynch, but well, maybe Becky Lynch is more of a threat to Baszler than we think. What is going on? Well, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor are on a collision course, but Daniel Bryan up next is on a collision course with someone he doesn't know because his non-title open challenge is coming up very, very shortly. And there he is preparing. Daniel Bryan backstage in his locker room. Wait a minute. Here's some staff member here. Has some information. Well, they have a huge tip-off as to who is accepting the open challenge. Who is it? Oh my God. Bryan absolutely screaming at this young man. What is getting into Daniel Bryan here? He is becoming... He's almost becoming everything he hates. Definitely... Daniel Bryan is getting more and more aggressive by the day, becoming more and more obsessed. He's a changed man. But you want to talk changed men, ladies and gentlemen. Here is King Ricochet on his way to the ring. He's asked me to refer to him as King Ricochet on commentary. And to be honest, I'm going to do whatever this guy says because I don't want any of what he has. But Ricochet, or should I say King Ricochet, on his way down to the ring after a bizarre altercation with Kevin Owens where Ricochet would usually be the first man to step up and take on a fight. He said to Kevin Owens that, I don't think these people deserve it. I don't think these people have paid enough money to see me wrestle here for free on free TV. Well, Ricochet's due to take on Arya Daivari here in just a moment, but you have to think that Kevin Owens will definitely be watching on in this one. This is going to be very, very interesting, to say the very least. A little bit of a new look, a little bit of a tweak look for King Ricochet here tonight in Fresno, and he's certainly not that popular here. Underway, yet more in-ring action. Oh, look out. Ricochet got out of the way, and then a spinning soul butt kick right to the chest, and then he sends him over the top, and look at this, Ricochet with a full head of steam. And this guy is really a show-off, there's no question about that. Arya Daivari coming in, trying to get his hands on Ricochet here, but he's rebuffed, looking for another clothesline. Oh my God! Ricochet is absolutely unbelievable, we know that, but this new attitude might even just make him even more dangerous as he sends him in. Oh, what a European uppercut, back elbow, sends him out, into the second turnbuckle, and oh my goodness me. Shades of Rey Mysterio with that little mini 619, sending him, oh my God. Ricochet is absolutely dominant here. Beautiful Northern Light suplex, rolls over, holds on for the deadlift spinning suplex from Ricochet. Ricochet has just been unbelievable. Takes him up. Oh! My God. Lays out Daivari. And Ricochet going up top. And the crowd want to see it. Oh, wait a minute. Ricochet would usually go for the 630, but instead he's going to inflict some pain here. Look at this. Oh my God, what a submission here. Ricochet not wanting to please the fans anymore. Ricochet is all about getting the job done, and that was about as emphatic a victory as we've ever seen. Look at this. Unbelievable from Ricochet. Back elbow. And then sending a message. Look at this. He goes to the top rope. The crowd cheering. They want to see it. Ricochet says, no. I ain't here to please the fans anymore. I'm here to destroy. And that's exactly what Ricochet just did to Arya Daivari. And this new look, new feel, new attitude from Ricochet would certainly appear that he feels like he's above the audience. There's no question about that. A very self-indulgent attitude, but I tell you what, you cannot argue with the fact that he will get the job done if he continues to perform like that in the ring. But you're going to have to answer to Kevin Owens at some point, and you may have to answer to him right now, because Kevin Owens is on his way down to the ring. Kevin Owens on his way down to the ring, and Owens is looking again at Ricochet, but Ricochet again avoiding. Ricochet again avoiding Kevin Owens. Oh, he looked for the kick. Owens, he evaded. Here he comes, looking for the clothesline, but again Ricochet, too fast, and he gets out of the way, and Kevin Owens can't quite get his hands on Ricochet again. And Ricochet, as condescending as ever, is just going to walk away from the fight again. But you can run, you can hide, but Owens is going to find you one day. And I cannot wait until he does. Kevin Owens wants Ricochet, but Ricochet continues to evade. Well, I don't think I'll be uttering the name, but I tell you what, Ruby Riott might be poking the bear and might be entering into something she may regret, and you might be able to say the same about Daniel Bryan here, because this is the main event of the evening. It is a Daniel Bryan non-title open challenge. Who is going to answer the call? Daniel Bryan wants to wrestle, and he had the opportunity to find out who his opponent was going to be, but he screamed at the ESM assistant who came in to let him know who he was going to be potentially facing. And but speaking of potentially facing, that man is in a 30-minute Iron Man match against Drew GULAK next week for a shot at this championship. But if Adam Cole, well, if his warning is to be heeded, it could potentially be Adam Cole that they face at Vengeance. Who knows? We need to find out who Daniel Bryan's opponent's going to be. Oh no. Well, the warning shot was fired. That's the Undisputed Era's music. And all 4 members of Undisputed Era are here. Adam Cole, Mr. Money in the Bank, is being flanked by Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. But my understanding in my headset is this is a singles match. It is not meant to be a handicap match, so maybe everyone wearing wrestling gear as Drew GULAK watches on with interest, as he has that, as I said, 30-minute Iron Man match against Cesaro next week. But this is more pressing. This is the bigger issue right now. Undisputed Era are here in numbers. They're all dressed, ready to compete, but who is it going to be? I'm being told it has to be a singles match. But who is going to wrestle tonight? But the fact that Mr. Money in the Bank is here says everything you need to know. Will it be Adam Cole himself? Will this be a title match? Who is going to face him? It looks as though Bobby Fish has taken his singlet off and slid into the ring. It's going to be Bobby Fish who takes on Daniel Bryan. But all three members of Undisputed Era are at ringside. So the danger level has gone through the roof for Daniel Bryan. Mr. Money in the Bank is standing ringside. It's essentially 4-on-1 if they want to just break this down. But Bobby Fish is the man who has accepted the challenge. But the more pressing issue is the fact that the Undisputed Era are all at ringside here at the moment. As Bobby Fish and Daniel Bryan, it's hard to not be distracted by these guys at ringside. Mr. Money in the Bank flanked by three of his best friends. All three men incredibly dangerous as Daniel Bryan is just absolutely putting on a clinic here against Bobby Fish. And while Bobby Fish is going to head outside, and this is the real threat. This is what it means, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby Fish goes and takes stock, stands behind his three buddies here, and Daniel Bryan wants him back in the ring. And look at Adam Cole leading the cheer squad here. Adam Cole knows there's a big chance. Imagine Bobby Fish can beat Daniel Bryan down so much that he has the opportunity to cash in that briefcase. Bobby Fish is the one. Oh, look out, Daniel Bryan's trying to get to him. All Daniel Bryan wants to do is fight. But you can see that definitely the character shift in Daniel Bryan as Bobby Fish is going to look to try and choke him out, but Daniel Bryan again fighting for the opportunity here. Oh, Daniel Bryan looking for the headbutt, but it was rebuffed by Bobby Fish. As you can see, Roderick Strong celebrating. They're loving this. Of course, it was announced by Adam Cole that, oh, look out, he went for the drop kick. Bobby Fish got out of the way. Bobby Fish, beautiful dragon screw, hangs him up on the ropes as Cesaro watches on with a lot of interest. How's that 30-minute Iron Man match next week on SmackDown? What a main event that's going to be. Winner faces Daniel Bryan, or will Daniel Bryan be the champion as Daniel Bryan zeroes in on that knee brace here? Daniel Bryan zeroing in. We saw him do it with Drew GULAK. Drew GULAK had the exposed knees, of course. Daniel Bryan rebuffed there. Of course, it was announced by Adam Cole that the Undisputed Era were going to put their names on the map. Daniel Bryan wants him back in the ring. And Daniel Bryan, oh, he just took out Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. And Daniel Bryan ain't afraid of him. He's going out right into the heart of the Lion's Den here. And throws Bobby Fish back in the ring. And now he's facing off with Mr. Money in the Bank. These hyenas. But look at this. It was just enough of a distraction here. Oh. Well, Adam Cole announced that next week was going to be Undisputed Era week. They were going to appear on all shows because they are all free agents at the moment. But Adam Cole said, I'm not going anywhere without my boys. We're a package deal. And all three general managers have agreed that that would be a huge coup. They're all wanted. But could they end up on SmackDown if Adam Cole is to cash in here? If they can beat Daniel Bryan down enough, you would assume that Adam Cole would just cash in right here, right now. Daniel Bryan is looking to survive, and I tell you what, he hasn't shirked the issue. And at the moment, Daniel Bryan, I think he's too fresh. Daniel Bryan, should they just rush the ring, Daniel Bryan could escape. And I reckon Daniel Bryan could get out of here. So Adam Cole is waiting for this match to get a little bit longer in the tooth here, as Daniel Bryan is firing up now. Now might be the time to start thinking about it, though. Huge opportunity for Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era. As Bobby Fish yet again goes to the outside. And this is where it's so dangerous, because you go out there and then look at him just surrounding him here. Adam Cole keeping a close eye on Daniel Bryan. This is just, it's almost like a snake pit here as Daniel Bryan's head sent off. We know the issues he's had with concussions. Sent off that LED post. And the longer this goes, the more jeopardized that WWE Championship of Daniel Bryan's is. And Daniel Bryan's fighting. Look at him just surrounding him. Everywhere Daniel Bryan looks, there is an Undisputed Era member. Bobby Fish lining him up, but Bryan, look out! He almost took out Roderick Strong, and Bryan saying, I ain't going out there again. Bryan is too fresh, too nimble to go after right now, but the longer this match goes, I tell you what, this is so opportunistic from the Undisputed Era as he gets in the ring, and Bryan again rebuffs. Bryan again rebuffs, and now he's going straight back to the knee with those kicks. He's really targets in. He is an ultimate pro. There's no doubt about that. Daniel Bryan is the ultimate professional. He sees any kind of weakness and he attacks it, and that's what he's doing as Daniel Bryan now sends him into the corner, and Bryan with a clothesline and a snapmare, and Bryan over the top, and he is feeling this now. And Bryan is going to go straight back to the knee, and Bobby Fish, wearing that knee brace, you may as well wear a target, because that's what Daniel Bryan is doing here. He's targeting that knee. Undisputed Era, Adam Cole sending a message earlier to Paul Heyman saying, hey, there's an opportunity on the table with this singles match. We don't think it's a very good idea that you would send your boy out there alone, but Daniel Bryan is here alone. And he had the opportunity to find out about this and potentially back out, but he yelled at the ESM staff members saying that, oh, I don't want to know. I don't care how many there is. I don't care what happens. I just want to go out there and fight. It could be a huge disadvantage for Daniel Bryan. He had the opportunity to have the heads up here, and look at that. Beautiful elbow from Bobby Fish. And Fish is saying this could be it now. And the more Daniel Bryan gets beaten down, the more I'm looking at ringside thinking this could be all over for his title reign. Not just the match. Forget about the match. He could lose the championship here tonight. He could lose it right now. Because Bobby Fish is trying to choke out Daniel Bryan with everything he has here. Daniel Bryan, though, is still fighting. Daniel Bryan still has the opportunity to fight back. Still has what it takes to fight back. And Bryan now whipping Bobby Fish off. Ducks under. Bryan, beautiful takeover. And now Bryan, he could be looking for the knee here. He goes to the corner. He goes to the corner with the hiatus. Watching it. Wait a minute, hey. He grabs the boot of Daniel Bryan as Bobby Fish starts to recover. Roderick Strong. And that is the first real impact they've had on this match. And it could be the end for Daniel Bryan. Oh no! Dragon suplex. And Bobby Fish has the chance to take out Daniel Bryan. Oh, gutbuster. Gutbuster on Daniel Bryan. But Bryan brilliantly rolls to the outside. Wait a minute, Roderick Strong, he knows how desperate this situation is. He throws him straight back in the ring. Bobby Fish went out to get him, but he threw him in the ring. And that little delay. Oh, right down on the knee again of Fish. Right down on the knee again of Fish. Daniel Bryan's worked over the knee. And now Daniel Bryan with a heel hook. That's going to be putting all kinds of torque on the knee as well. That's going to be putting all kinds of torque. And Bobby Fish has to tap out Daniel Bryan with the heist. And Daniel Bryan's getting the hell out of there. Daniel Bryan gets the hell out of there. And here they come now. Undisputed Era. But Daniel Bryan saying, nah. Bryan steals the win, gets out of the way. Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era missed their opportunity. Daniel Bryan with the flash tap out victory over Bobby Fish. Unbelievable win from Daniel Bryan. He gets a safe distance away. But is Daniel Bryan a safe distance away from the sharks that are swirling? Drew GULAK laying in wait. It'll be GULAK. It'll be Cesaro. 30-minute Iron Man match. The winner faces Daniel Bryan. But are the shark-infested waters too deep for that man? He doesn't think so.